Okay, this is a demonstration on how you set up sound for a concert band setting. We have a concert band set up in the large hall. It's a pretty typical setup, timpanis, all the mallets. We have left and right speakers. That was our left speaker. This is our far right. The top speaker is for all your higher frequencies, and the bottom one is for the bass frequencies. I'm going to show you the back of this is the right speaker. At the top, this is the main input. An XLR cable is being put in there. To the right, we're at 0 decibels on this knob, and that XLR cable is hooked up to the sub beneath. Now here at the bottom of the top speaker, you have your UPC cable and power button. Let's go below to the sub. Now all the low frequencies are going here. This XLR cable, since this is the right speaker, I have it plugged into the right, a full range input. Now we need to connect this speaker to the top, so we go to the right out of this high pass output. This cable right here, and connect it all the way up to that input on the top speaker. Remember, this is a high pass, and that knob in the middle is set middle to normal. We don't want to use this output on the far left. We want to use the output on the far right. And again, you have to turn this speaker on, you have your power button and UPC cable over here. And you always hook up these speakers, let them have their own power strip. Now let's go over, if you look over at the left speaker, you have the exact same setup, except you would plug everything in to the left side. You can see these two XLRs are plugged into the left slots. You can choose either the left or right, and since this is the left speaker, obviously you choose the left input and output. And it's hooked up to a power strip as well. Now these are monitors. Whatever is coming out of the monitors, it's different than what's going out to the audience. And we have it powered up. UPC is connected to it, and XLR is being ran over to this mic snake input over here. Most people just call it a snake. And you have another monitor in the back. So for this particular setup, we have 2 monitors. And these monitors are just so the musicians can hear a separate mix for their own personal needs. And if you look here, this blue cable that's connected to that snake input, it's being ran behind that curtain back to my mixer over there. And I'll show you what's going on with the other end of that cable in a minute. But let's take a look at the outputs. The snake, the red channels, actually let's look at the black channels first. They're labeled 1 through 24. These are all the inputs. And this is where all your microphones on the stage are going to be connected to. I have drum overheads connected. The kick drum is mic'd. Snare. Actually, that was hi-hat, and this is snare. And the guitar cabinet is mic'd as well. Now, if you don't want to just plug these cables into random channels. You got to have a plan. So what we have taped down here is a reference. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they all tell you what is connected to that number on the input channel. And those numbers should match exactly how you hook up everything on the mixer. Now let's look at the outputs. These are the red channels here. This is what's going out of the mixer into your speakers on stage, including your monitors. You see these wires are being spread out and sent to the main mixers and monitors. Now A, let's follow the cable. It's being sent all the way to the left speaker. I have it taped down nice and neat. B is connected to the right speaker. C, this is going to monitor 1. That's the most important monitor for this particular setup. And D is going back to the drummer. So let's just follow the cable snake back to the mixer to see how all this is connected. It's going behind that curtain, and I have the whole setup behind the piano. And as you can kind of see, it's all coiled up here, and then this is where all the crazy wiring is. A lot of people are very intimidated by this. It just looks like a pile of junk, but I'm going to show you everything that's going on here. Because it's just tedious and time consuming to put it all together, but it makes your life a lot easier if you know where everything is. Now I've labeled everything on my first mixer according to where I want it hooked up. Everything on this mixer should correspond to the snake inputs that are out on the middle of the floor. Now this second mixer over here, it's another 16 channel mixer. I've put anything that's vocal on this mixer, and it's being routed to the last 2 channels on my main mixer. Because we have an octet, I put octet. That means all the vocals for the 8-person group. So I have 8 XLR inputs that are coming from my wireless receivers. I have a 1/4 inch output out of the main left and right outputs on this left mixer. It's coming around and going into channels 15 and 16 stereo. So all vocals are on that channel, and I've labeled it so. As you can see, I have the whole group for the band, the rock band, the concert band microphones, iPod, and then vocals on 15 and 16 channels. Now let's see how I hooked up everything using the snake. The black wirings and the white wirings, they're kind of grouped together. And if we look above, all the white wirings are 1 through 8. XLR 1 through 8 is being put into the XLR input channel, and the black grouping of wires is 9 through 16. Now let's look at the output of this mixer. This is what's going to be going to my main speakers. This is a 1/4 inch to XLR male input, and it's being hooked in to the red grouping of wires. There's 8 red wires here. Let's look at the first one. It's connected to the red wire that says A on it. That's my left output. My right output is connected to B. Remember, on the snake input box, I have a group of red wires that allows me to send things out of this mixer. Now, let's look at my auxiliary channels. I have an auxiliary out for 1 and 2 on the mixer, and this is being sent to the monitor by the conducting podium and to the monitor by the drum set. The monitor by the podium, well, let's look at the one going to the drum set. The drum set's going to D, and the monitor by the podium is going to C. Remember that snake channel, that snake input output box in the middle of the floor, I have XLR cables coming out of C and D to their corresponding monitor. It looks pretty crazy by the mixer, but when you look back out here, it looks nice and neat. You can barely tell there's any wiring. That's why it's good to use a snake. They look pretty intimidating when you look at the back of the mixer, but as long as you know what's going on with the snake, it's actually much simpler. And if you look at the back of each of these receivers, there's a small XLR cable. There's about 8 of those XLR cables coming out of the receiver going into the inputs on that far left mixer. And these are our wireless microphones. We have 8 total for this concert. We have so many only for the Octoshop, the barbershop octet. So if you look at the back of that mixer, there's 8 XLR inputs. And on those wireless mics, I labeled them all 1 through 8, and I've labeled their receiver 2. So even on the channel, on the mixer, 1 through 8, I know channel 1 is also mic 1. And as you can also see, I have them all hooked up to AC adapters. And they all pretty much have the same level on the faders. Now this channel right here is the narrator. That's from Master Guns Montoya to narrate or talk to the audience. And he's using a receiver just like the other wireless mics, but he's going to use a clip-on headset mic. Let's see where I put that. Now the mixer is probably going to be on the opposite stage from Master Guns, so that's why I put it over here. Now we have other wireless mic sets, headsets. This clips around the ear. But Master Guns doesn't really like it, so we have other headsets he can use, and all I have to do is just plug it into that transmitter, and he'll be good to go. We have the ADAT hooked up, so I can record everything that's coming out of the back of this mixer. But as you can see, nothing's plugged in right now, but all I would need to do is take a 1/4-inch cable, plug it out of the direct outs of this mixer and into the back of that ADAT player. Pretty simple. And let's look at how I got the iPod hooked up. This blue cable with that red stripe on it, that's the other dual cable for the iPod. The other side's already in input 14. This is my main fader over here that controls the volume coming out of these speakers right here. Let's take a look at the auxiliary channels. These two knobs right here, that controls monitors auxiliaries 1 and 2. So those always have to be up for those monitors to turn on to their corresponding auxiliary channels. So this is how it looks. Have fun setting it up. It takes a while. This took me about 3 hours to set up on my own. So plan accordingly.